The night beckons. What, mortal? That was my plan. I must hunt soon. Greetings. What is it now? You thought of that? Greetings. That was my plan. What, mortal? Greetings. What is it now? Death rages. Very well. Greetings. Die. Very well. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. I hunger. Agreed. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Death rages. Very well. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. Very well. What is it now? Die. That was my plan. You thought of that? I hunger. Agreed. That was my plan. Death rages. Agreed. Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that?
Greetings, friend.
What, mortal? That was my plan. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. Very well. What is it now? Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. Agreed. That was my plan. What more? Very well. Agreed. Die. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Greetings. What, mortal? That was my plan. You thought of that? Our allies here. That was my plan. You thought of that? We're under attack! What is it now? You thought of that? That was my plan. I must hunt soon. What, mortal? Agreed. Greetings. Very well. You thought
Our
of that.
allied town is being attacked!
That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan. I hunger. Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? What is it now? Very well. That was my plan. What is it now? Must hunt.
Our allied hero has been slain!
You thought of that? Very well. Death rages.
We're under
You thought of
attack!
that? What is it now?
Our allied town is being attacked!
Agreed. Greetings. Very well. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. You thought of
Our
that?
allied town is being
What is it
attacked!
now? That was my plan. Very well. Greetings. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Very well. That was my plan. You thought of that? What is it now? That was You thought of that? Very well. That was my plan. What? Very well. Agreed. What is it now? That was my plan. Agreed. Very well.
We're under
You thought of
attack!
that?
Greetings, friend.
What is it now? Greetings. What, mortal? Death rages. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. You thought of that? Very well. They must hunt soon. What is it now? Very well. That was my plan.
We need more gold!
Agreed. Very well. Your soul is mine. That was my plan. Agreed. Very well.
Our allied town is being attacked!
Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. I hunger. Very well. Agreed. Your soul is mine. Death rages. Very well. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. What? Greetings. Agreed. What is it now? Very well. Agreed. That was my plan. What, mortal? You thought of that? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. You thought of that? What, mortal? Agreed. You thought of that? What is it now? Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Die. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. Death rages. Very well. I must hunt soon. That was my plan. Die. Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. Death rages. That was
Our
my
ally
plan.
hero has been slain.
Agreed. What, mortal? That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. Greetings. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? Very well. I hunger. What, mortal? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. You thought of that? What is it now? Very well. Agreed. Die. That was my plan. You thought of that? What, mortal? What is it now? Greetings. That was my plan.
Our ally's hero has been slain.
Very well. Agreed. That was my plan. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. I must hunt soon. Greetings. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Very well. You thought of that? Very well. Your soul is mine. I hunger.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Agreed.
Our allied hero has been slain.
I must hunt soon. That was my plan. Very well. I hunger. Your soul is mine. Die. Agreed. Very well. Death rages. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan.
Our allied town is being attacked!
What is it now? Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. That was my plan. You thought of that?
We're under attack!
That was my plan. Very well. What more? Die. I hunger. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. Death rages. You thought of that? I hunger. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. You thought of that?
Hello there.
Greetings. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. That was my plan.
Our allies here
What is it now?
slain!
I must hunt soon.
Our allied town is being attacked!
What mortal? Die. Greetings. You thought of that? Agreed. Very well. What is it now? Death rages. You thought of that? Agreed. Must hunt soon. Very well. You thought of that? Die. That was my plan. You thought greetings. That was my plan. Very well. Must hunt soon. What mortal? That was my plan. You thought of that? Your soul is mine. Agreed. That was my plan. Must hunt soon. You thought of that? That was my plan. What mortal? You thought of that? What mortal? I hunger. Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. I must hunt soon. What is it now? What mortal? Agreed. Very well. You thought of that? What is it now? What mortal?
We're under attack! attack!
That was my plan. What is it now? You thought of that? I must hunt soon. Very well.
Our allied town is being attacked! We're under attack!
That was my plan. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed.
Our allied hero
You
has been
thought of
slain!
that? Agreed. You thought of that? Must hunt soon. What is it now? That was my plan. You thought of that? Agreed. What mortal? Very well. Agreed. Death rages. That was my plan. I hunger. What is it now? Greetings. Must hunt soon. You thought of that?
Our allied hero has been slain!
You thought of that? Very well. I hunger. Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. You thought of that? Well, what mortal? Very well. Agreed. Yes, rages. That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. I hunger. Death rages. That was my plan. I hunger. Agreed. Death rages. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. You thought of that?
Our allied hero has been
Agreed.
slain!
Very well.
Our allied town is being attacked!
What is it? You thought of that? Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that?
Our allied hero has been slain!
Death rages.
We're under attack!
Agreed. Very well. What is it now? That was my plan. What more? Very well. Must hunt soon. You thought of that? That was my plan. What is it now? must hunt soon. You thought of that? No, no. That was my plan. Agreed. That was my plan. I hunger. No, no. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that?
Research complete.
That was my plan. You thought of that? Your soul is mine. Agreed. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? Must hunt soon.
Our allied town is being attacked.
That was my plan. Your soul is mine.
Our allied hero has been
That
slain.
was my plan. I hunger. Thought of that? I hunger. Must hunt soon. Death rages. I hunger. That was my plan. Agreed. Die. That was my plan. What is it now? I must hunt soon. What, mortal? Very well. Agreed. I must hunt soon. You thought of that? Agreed. I must hunt soon. What is it now? Death rages. Very well. Agreed. Greetings. That was my plan. You thought of that? What, mortal? Very well. That was my plan. I hunger. Very well.
Hello there.
That was my plan. That was my plan. You thought of that?
Our allied hero has been slain. Our allied hero has been slain.
it now? Very well. Thought of that? Greetings. What is it now? I must hunt soon. Very well. That was my plan. What is it now? Agreed. That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. Death rages. That was my plan. You thought
Our ally hero has been slain.
that was my plan.
I hunger.
Agreed. Death rages. Very well.
Our allied town is being attacked.
That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Your soul is mine. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. That was my plan.
We're under attack.
That was my plan. You thought of that? What, mortal? Very well. You thought of that? Greetings.
Our allied town is being attacked.
Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? Die. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? I must hunt soon. Death rages. That was my plan. You thought of that? Very well. What is it now? Greetings. Agreed. You thought of that? Very well.
We're under attack.
What is it now? You thought of that? Very well. That was my plan. Very well.
Our allies' hero has
That
been
was
slain.
my plan. Agreed. That was my plan.
Welcome to our village.
What, mortal? I hunger. Greetings. What is it? That was my plan. I must hunt soon. That was my plan. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Agreed.
Town is being attacked!
Mortal. I hunger. What is it now? That was my plan. You thought of that. Soon. Greetings. That was my plan. Very well. You thought of that? Please. You thought of that? That was my plan. Death rages. Very well. You thought of that? I hunger. Very well.
Our allied town is being attacked!
Agreed. Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? That was my plan. What? You thought of that? That was my plan. Agreed. Very well. What is it now? I must hunt soon. Your soul is mine. You thought of that? Greetings. Agreed. You thought of that?
Our allied town is being attacked!
What is it now? Very well.
We're under attack!
Very well. Agreed. You thought of that? Very well. You thought of that? That was my plan.
Hello there.
What, mortal? I
Our
must
allied town is being attacked!
You thought of that? Greetings. Agreed.
Our allied town is being attacked!
I hunger. That was my plan. I must hunt soon. What is
Our
it now?
allied town is being attacked!
What, mortal? Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. That was my plan. Greetings. What is it now? Greetings. Very well. Agreed. Very well. You thought of that. Agreed. What is it now? Very well. That was my plan. Very well. Death rages. Agreed. That was my plan. I hunger. Very well. Must hunt soon.
me.
Very well. You thought of that. What is it now? Very well. That was my plan. That was my plan. Very well. What, mortal? Death rages. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. What is it now? Very well. Agreed. I hunger. Greetings. What, mortal? That was my plan. Death rages. You thought of that? Agreed. Agreed. You thought of that? What is it now? I must hunt soon.
Our allies' hero has been slain.
Die. Death rages. Die. That was my plan. You thought of that? That was my plan. What is it now? You thought of that? Agreed.
Our allied town is being attacked.
What? I hunger. Your soul is mine. Die. Death rages.
Our allies' hero has been slain.
That was my plan. Death rages. I hunger. Your soul is mine. Death rages. What is it now? Agreed. I hunger. That was my plan. Die. Agreed. That was my plan. You thought of that? Agreed. You thought of that? I must hunt soon.
We're under attack.
What is it now?
Greetings, friend.
Greetings. Agreed. That was my plan. Very well. What is it now? That was my plan. Death rages. What? Agreed. What is it now? I must hunt soon. That was my plan. I hunger. Agreed. Greetings. What, mortal?
Hello
What
there.
is it now? That? What, mortal? That was my plan. You thought of that? Very well. What is it now?
We're
I
under
must hunt
attack.
soon. Agreed. Greetings. Death rages. soon.
What?
Mortal. What is it now?
I hunger.
I must hunt soon. That was my plan.
What?
Mortal.